Hey, Booktube Sean here, and today I'm doing the mid-year book check-in tag. This was created by Harriet Rosie and Dane Reads, whose channels I'll link below, and I was tagged by Julie at A Girl in a Book and Jade at Bedtime Bookworm, whose, again, channels I will link below. I know you guys don't see a lot of tag videos from me, but I wanted to do one of the mid-year tags, and I like the questions in this one better than the mid-year book freakout tag, and when I mentioned that, when I saw Jade's video, I mentioned that I like those questions better, and then she commented back, well, then I officially tag you. And then Julie just tagged me today. So figured I would go ahead and, even though it's almost August, go ahead and do a mid-year tag. I kind of wanted to do one anyway. So getting into it, how many books have you read this year so far? That number is 36, and that is of my 52 goal that I set on Goodreads. So I'm 7 books ahead of schedule, and so I see no reason why I'm not going to meet that goal. So as of right now. Number 2, what's your favorite book so far this year? And that is Kill Creek by Scott Thomas. I'm sure there's no surprise there. You guys have heard me gush about this book several times in videos, so I'm sure it's no surprise that my favorite book so far this year is Kill Creek by Scott Thomas. Most disappointing book you've read this year, and again, this is probably no surprise, I've mentioned it a couple of times, Audition by Ryu Murakami. I was deeply disappointed that was not the book I was expecting it to be. Number 4, what genre have you read the most this year? Again, no surprise, horror. I even had a video talking about how I didn't feel like I was living up to my name because of how much horror I was reading. I had this crisis of name that you guys basically told me that I was being ridiculous and just keep doing what you're doing. So that's what I've been doing. Number 5, name a new favorite author that you've discovered this year. So most of my year so far has been reading authors that I haven't read before. I think let me look real quick here and through my Goodreads, and let's see. I have read by authors that I have already previously read before. I have read 1, 2, 3, 4 books of the 36. Are from authors that I had previously read before. Everything else was a brand new to me author. So, but my favorite that I have my new favorite from what I've read brand new this year. Usually I have to read an author a couple of times for them to become like a new favorite author. And I read Jonathan Janz's Witching Hour Theater, and I loved it, and I saw the potential for him to become a new favorite author, and I am currently reading his upcoming The Siren and the Spectre that I got from Flame Tree Press, and I'm 93 pages in, and I am loving it so far, and it pretty much cements him as a new favorite author. I want to read everything he's written, and I know Flame Tree Press is going to be releasing his back catalog. So I'm really excited for, I have 2 other Jonathan Janz's on my Kindle. I have this one, and I'm excited for the re-release of his old stuff. So far, if this keeps going the way it's going, this might actually be a contender. This might actually challenge Kill Creek, if this keeps going the way it's going for me. So yeah, Jonathan Janz is definitely a new favorite author. What's the most surprisingly good book you've read so far this year? And that would have to be Cold Cuts by Robert Payne Cabeen. This is a book you guys have heard me describe as radioactive mutant penguins. This was the winner of the first novel award for the Bram Stokers this year, and I didn't think I wouldn't like it. But when the tagline was on Amazon was like something like the cold cuts deep, I was like, okay, that's kind of cheesy. This one might be a bit iffy. But it ended up being a very close second to Kill Creek for me of the books that I read for the first novel nominees, which I read all of. and it was a very close second to Kill Creek. So it surprised me how much I liked that book. It was so much fun, and I just wasn't expecting that. Back to the questions. What are your favorite and most anticipated 2018 releases? I've only read a couple books that have come out or come out this year, and I didn't care for either of them. One was Space Opera by Catherine M. Valente, which I have a review of, and I'll try and link it below. But that one disappointed me a lot. That would probably be the disappointing books. That would probably be a very close second to Audition, because I was really excited for Space Opera and I was very disappointed in it. But the other one I've read, I just finished, so you haven't heard me talk about it. But it's Bad Band by Dathan Auerbach. I'll have a review coming on the release day of it, and I'll probably talk about it a little bit in my July wrap up. But it left me very lukewarm. Again, I was kind of disappointed in it. But my most anticipated releases this year, one of them I already have my hands on. It comes out July 31st. It is Palome by L.L. McNeil. I have an e-arc of it on my Kindle, and I'm a couple chapters in. I'm trying to get it read by July 31st so that I can get a review up on Amazon for. But I loved Maroda last year. It was one of my top books of 2017, and this is book 2 of her Lunaria Chronicles, and I've been looking forward to it all year. I've known for months that I was getting an e-arc of it, and I was excited when she sent me the email that it was on its way, and she's sending me a physical copy when she gets her physical copies too. So thank you, Lauren, for that. I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm already really happy to be back in this world. The first 2 chapters have covered my 2 favorite characters from Maroda, Palome and Amara. So I'm really, really happy to be back in this world, and I'm looking forward to digging deeper into this book. And the second book, that's my most anticipated release of the year, comes out in October, and it is The Consuming Fire by John Scalzi. It's book 2 of the Interdependency, the follow-up to The Collapsing Empire, which again... if you've been a subscriber of mine for a while, you'll know I loved that book. It was, again, one of my top books of 2017, and I'm super, super... Scalzi is one of my favorite authors, and I'm super excited for The Consuming Fire to come out in October. I've had it pre-ordered since the day pre-orders went live. Like, he sent the tweet that pre-orders were live, and 2 seconds later I had it pre-ordered. So you can tell I'm super excited about that book. 8. What's your next big priority for your reading? And that would be my review copies. I've been telling a few people that I'm kind of drowning in review copies right now, and that's not usually the case for me. But because of that Flame Tree box I got, which was 6 books, I'm kind of drowning in review copies right now. And don't get me wrong, I am happy to have those books. I asked to be an ARC reader for Flame Tree Press. I signed up for their ARC list. I did not know that a box of 6 would be coming. I thought they might space out a little bit, or I might only get certain ones, but I'm definitely happy to have it, so no complaints. I have a lot of review copies to read now between those 6. Palome, I have Trail of Lightning on the way from Saga Press. So I've got quite a few review copies, and that's probably going to be mostly my August TBR is my review copies. I'm going to later this week, probably Friday, I'm going to be putting up a Booktubeathon TBR. I am, as much as I suck at readathons, I am going to participate in Booktubeathon. So my review copies will get. I'm going to try to fit in some Booktubeathon around review reading, because I want to mostly dedicate August to reading review copies, but I want to get some stuff just for me in as well too. So but I do want to get through as many of the review copies as I can. So that's my next That's my next big priority. 9. What's been your bookish highlight of the year so far? A couple bookish highlights for me. One was making it through The Pillars of the Earth. I've been wanting to read that for a long time. I struggle with books that get between the 7 and 1,000 page range, and that one was definitely over 1,000 pages. And it took me about a month and a half. I read it with Robyn at Driftless Reader, who posted a video after an absence not too long ago, and she'll be back on BookTube in the fall, she says. So I'm excited to see her return. Yeah, so getting through that book was a big accomplishment for me. I haven't tackled very many books comparable in size yet this year. I would like to. Maybe in the fall and winter, I might feel more like getting into some deep long tomes. But yeah, that was definitely a highlight for me, finally getting through a book that long. And the other highlight of my year has been my perpetual buddy read with Stephanie. We've read several books in a row together, and Stephanie, that's what she read. And I've just really enjoyed all the buddy reads we've been doing, and just kind of, okay, this one's done, what's next? I've really been enjoying that, so that's been a big highlight for me. And it's deepened our friendship, and I've really appreciated that. 10, who do you tag? So many people have done this. I don't really tag anybody. If you want to do this, you can say I tagged you. But that's it. That is the mid-year book check-in tag. And hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you to all my subscribers. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm happy to have you. I hope you liked it. I hope you stick around. Hit the subscribe button so you'll know when I post more videos, and I'll see you all in the next one.